feel like this is going to be a very unorthodox episode of Stick Talk.
Not bad. It's not bad.
Not bad. All right. What is going on, y'all? Episode 16 of Stick Talk. We just filmed episode 15. We're all in the same stuff. We have multiple pairs of clothes. Don't worry. Anyways, welcome to Stick Talk. We're on with the man himself, Jake Youngblood.
Appreciate
your
it.
last name?
It is actually. It's my real middle name, and I got a funny story about that once we get into it. It's my real legal middle name.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Let's start with that. How did
Actually,
you get
yeah.
that?
So it's actually I got a really funny story. It's Dutch actually. It's Youngblood. And so Youngblood is the English translation. I know, it's wild.
Youngblood.
And like growing up, everyone's like,
That's a fire rap name.
super cool. Yeah, it was my like DJ alias. And growing up, everybody thought it was fake. Like I had a teacher, it was my like honors geometry teacher. And she was like flaming me in front of the class. Oh, it's not your real name. It's Cherokee, blah, blah, blah. I was like, it's my real name. It's like, you see it on there. You have more information than I do.
It's tatted on your fucking legs.
Yeah, it's tatted. Tatted, like, I don't know what permanent is. But yeah, bro. And so I got a really funny story. So when I was applying to colleges, so Youngblood is also, it's Cherokee. It's Native American. And so when I was applying to colleges as like a little fuck, I was applying to all these super Ivy League schools saying that I was Native American. And I got into a lot, but they're like, hold on, let me see your green card. And I just like flipped out. I was like, you know what? Like, all right. And I just never responded
Your
again.
green card, even if you're Native American, they have green cards?
Yeah, there's some sort of like document you needed. I just didn't have because they like people had done that
Prove you're
before.
Native
Yeah,
American.
yeah,
Like the Resi ID.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
green card.
Yeah, it's super funny.
Yo.
So you got into the schools. Did you go to Ivy League school?
No, I didn't. I went to San Diego State.
Okay.
Kind of
So
an Ivy
the
League school though.
Aztecs?
San Diego State, that must have been lit.
Cool.
Yeah, it was a
Leonard?
great
Yeah.
time,
That's the
bro.
only thing I know about
Kawhi
them.
Leonard.
But yeah, how was San Diego State?
Dude, it was a great time. So like, it's such a big school for partying and social life. And the interesting thing about San Diego State is that if you aren't like involved with like student government or a fraternity or sorority, like you pretty much don't have a social life. And it kind of sucks, right? At the end of the day, it's like you should be able to party and have a good time regardless of like what organization you're in. But that's just how it was. And so this actually ties in perfectly with Irrational Optimism. My goal at San Diego State was to make the campus as small as possible. I wanted to be tight with everyone and anyone. I didn't care if they were in anime club or if they were in freaking furry club. Actually, probably not. Definitely not furry club. I take that back. But if they were like anything, right? I don't care what they were. I wanted to be cool with them. And a funny thing I always tell myself is I want to be like build a genuine enough relationship that they'd be comfortable enough to comment on my Instagram post. It's kind of silly, right? But like no one's gonna comment on your shit, Dan, if like you guys aren't tight. You know what I mean?
I'm a loser, so yeah.
But that's how I approached, San Diego State, and I ran that place, bro. I knew everybody. But
Were you in a frat? Or
I was in Theta Chi.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was like the weirdest club that you associated yourself with?
That's a good question. I don't know, bro. Probably the fraternity itself. But we did some ridiculous ass shit, dude. Some ridiculous ass shit.
Theta Chi at my college was like the worst.
Yeah, Theta Chi is like not. So Theta Chi was only cool at FSU and San Diego State and like Washington or in UCLA, and then they just got destroyed and taken down. We actually got kicked off as well, but yeah, all the places they were cool, we got kicked off.
Like, what do you
Yeah.
do to get kicked off of frat?
Hazing. So like the thing with San Diego State, like we were affiliated with the school, so some colleges. Like fraternity fraternities and sororities aren't associated with the school. It's kind of like a third party. And we were attached to San Diego State, and they hated it. They hated it, bro. All the drinking, all the like ambulances, all the problems, fighting, all that stuff. They just like they hated it, and so
Crazy. All right,
yeah.
bro. That is we'll segue into the
Yeah, thank God. Yeah, fuck the fraternity shit, bro.
So I like to go. I want to start with like the thread you wrote where it was like from DoorDash driver to living in Miami in a year. Walk us through that story. Like, what was the major turning point that allowed you to move to Miami and not DoorDash anymore and do online business?
Yeah, great question, bro. So I actually grew up and am best friends with the Dewlab, Dew's younger brother. He's been a best friend of mine for a long time and an amazing guy. And I had followed his brother on Twitter for a long time because my association with Twitter before like where we are was like music, like EDM Twitter, because I was a DJ and a producer. And I would always see his stuff then. I would see him making like, yeah, guys, I just made like $50,000 or just dropping like huge gems in terms of business and life. And I called him one day when the pandemic is raging. And I'm like, yo, man, like, what is going on? What do I need to do? How do I get involved in this stuff? And he goes, funny enough, you drop everything and you go and buy Cold Emails course and Pike's agency course. And I only had
That
like,
was the duo back
that
in the
was
day.
it, bro. That's what
the
it was.
1-2 punch, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was nuts, dude. And I still like had no money to my name, and so I DoorDashed for like another week. I went hard in the paint, bro, and I was still getting like $10 an order, $6 an order. So I think both their courses together was like $800, $900. So I got the money to do that, and I bought it, and I just like inhaled all of that information. Like I watched like Daniel's course over and over and over again, and I got to the point where I had my dad go through it, and then him and I would quiz each other, and it was just like, it was so fascinating. And I ended up creating a lead generation and a website design agency. It was called Dobbs Digital. It was awesome, bro. And before I got into online business, I was an electrician, and so I knew that that contractor business was suffering during the pandemic. And so I would just cold call all local residential contractors, whether it was like HVAC, electrician, plumber, whatever, and I would cold pitch them on the phone. And I got 4 clients at 5K, so I made $20,000 my first month, and it was nuts.
With a website design?
Website design and lead generation. I was running Facebook ads.
During the pandemic?
Yeah. It was nuts, bro. And I was like, holy shit, this is like happening way too fast. I've never seen this amount of money before. Like, I need to relax. And like, look, I'm not going to say I delivered the best results, right? Because like, it was my first clients ever. And I had a money back guarantee on there, right? But like, I did the best I could. I gave him my whole effort. Got him a couple leads each, but it wasn't anything outstanding. And I called Zoo. I was like, hey, man, like, this is what's going on. He goes, holy shit, dude. It is pretty clear that you're a closer. Like, it's obvious you're a closer. How about I help you get a job into high-ticket closing instead of, like, dealing with all of this stuff? And look, in retrospect, I should have stayed with the agency and really stuck it out and, like, learned everything A to Z of operating an agency, right? Hiring, fulfillment systems, all that stuff, and running my own ads. I should have, but then he placed me on another offer, and he was like, hey, look, you can make the same amount of money, if not more, with less responsibility. All you gotta do is show up and close. And like, you love to talk to people, so why not? So I did that for a while, crushed it, loved that. And then my uncle, he's the ex-CFO of Goldman Sachs. Wow. And so, yeah, awesome dude, like a gangster. And he's like, hey, Jake, like, I see what you're doing. I see you're very entrepreneurial now. Like, let's do something together. And through his 15 years at Goldman, exec status, he developed a pretty gnarly network. Yeah. Like, very, very powerful people. And he goes, you know what? Like, let's create an asset acquisition firm, but on the consulting side, right? Because I don't have a Series 7 or 63, so we're not really consultants. We're like advisors, consultants. Like, the verbiage was very particular, right? So we were doing asset acquisitions, facilitation, and like consulting on the buy and sell side across all industry verticals. So we primarily did commercial real estate, and that was awesome. And then we did a lot of tech startups. We did some government contracts, some crypto, and I did that for a while, and it was great, right? Because it was better than like any Harvard MBA or any sort of schooling I could ever ask for. I'm learning from the GOAT of finance and business, and it was awesome. And what I realized is, because I'm starting to follow all you guys on Twitter now, and everybody's talking about digital assets, SaaS, e-commerce, all those guys. I'm like, holy shit, these are the same thing, right? In essence of commercial real estate, right? In the same sense, because it's got a proven track record, it's scalable, and you can sell these. And I realized all of these head honchos he's working with had no idea about it. None of them knew anything about it. And I was like, holy shit, bro. I'm going to stop working with you respectfully. I'm going to part ways, and I'm going to start phase 2 brands. It's the same thing as a real estate model. We buy distressed or underperforming e-commerce brands, scale them, and resell them. Same thing. But the kicker is that we're in charge of the appreciation, right? With real estate, there's a lot of third parties, there's market you got to wait for, and sometimes it takes years. I could buy a brand and sell it in a year or two, or even less. You just put the marketing sauce on it, bring it up to an extra, 5 figures, 6 figures in revenue, sell like hotcakes, man. It's nuts.
So where do you get the money to acquire these types of businesses?
I raised money.
Raise money.
I'm still kind of in like a pre-seed Series A round right now, but I actually ended up getting in touch with an investor, an amazing guy. He's actually an accredited investor in Ty Lopez's e-commerce thing. It's like very similar to mine, but he's buying like
Like Bed
fucking
Bath &
Radio
Beyond,
Shack,
like,
shit like that.
Models and like some
Yeah.
old brands that have been around.
Pure
with-
imports.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Just
Pure one,
crazy
yeah.
stuff like that. And he was familiar with my concept. You know, that was a very difficult thing that I had to do with pitching. Like I pitched for like a year. I built this business for a year, and people either didn't understand it or they didn't trust a younger entrepreneur. And I'd never done e-commerce before, so there's really no proof of concept. And so I found a guy, that believed in me, believed in the asset I had. It was Chameleon Swim, and helped me take it down. And you know, we're crushing it right now.
So how many brands have you worked with?
So right now I have Chameleon Swim, and I'm also like part management company for a company called Made Man. It's a men's skincare line.
Dope.
Yeah.
So walk us through working with your uncle, because you just kind of went through that really quickly.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we were doing buy-side consulting for these massive firms. Like, first of all, how was your mindset going into that? Like, I have no business being involved with these heavy hitters. Like, what was your... Did you have any sense of imposter syndrome? Like, were you overwhelmed?
Yeah, I was incredibly overwhelmed because, you know, with these big deals, there's heavy risk, heavy upside, right? Some of these deals are like, hey, we need $100 million by next week to close this property. You know, it's like the Hard Rock or something crazy like that. And I just go overdrive, just networking, reaching out to people and setting up calls and stuff like that. And, you know, again, I didn't even understand the verbiage, like finance. I didn't even know what like a fucking waterfall was, or even I didn't even know what equity meant at the time. So I'm just kind of like faking it till I make it. And so like he's in the trenches, right? The only thing he wanted to do was do what he does best. He wants to close. He doesn't want to do all the legwork. He doesn't want to do the admin work, the secretary stuff that I was like willing to do because I wanted to learn everything. I didn't go to school for business. I dropped out of school. You know what I mean? And
So you
so
were like facilitating these deals, basically?
pretty much everything. Yeah, I was deal sourcing, facilitating, helping close, right? But I'm not gonna hop on the phone with like our billion-dollar financier and like talk shit. It's just like I'm just not gonna say anything. You know, I just don't know what I'm talking about. And I was like, I had the humility to understand that I was there to learn, and so like that also gave me a lot of respect in the industry because, as you guys know, like that industry is full of sharks.
Yeah.
Like there are shitty people out there. And we actually, funny enough, we were dealing with a pretty significant casino deal in the first ever casino in Texas. And that, like, you know, when you deal with like assets like that and those types of people, you know, it brings a different sort of demographic. So we had a lot of headaches with them, and it was a lot of character building for me too, because at the end of the day, it's like someone's gonna say something, but they're also gonna stab you in the back. Like it just like it really helps you build, you know, your intuition and kind of just get like thicker skin too at the end of the day.
Yeah, you start to develop a sixth sense on how to read people.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
guess when I'm looking at it from an outside perspective, that seems like a super intimidating industry to get into. Just because if I don't know anybody, it seems like all of those deals happen with people who are in, you know, this dark room similar to like we're in. They all know each other. They have these connections and they already have the network to close. I guess if you're approaching an opportunity with your uncle and you need a source, a buyer, or a seller, whatever it may be, how do you go from like where you're at now, which is like you don't have many connections outside of your uncle, to actually getting in touch with these powerful people and then like bringing them to your uncle to close? Like how do you actually
That's a great question.
start those relationships?
And actually, so how it really started was me building on Twitter. You know, I dropped my like who is Jake Youngblood thread on Twitter when I first moved here with Fitz. And I got kind of connected with all the big dogs, like you guys and all the other people. And I started to kind of gain a rapport, like, yo, who is this kid? Like, what is he up to? He's working with the ex-CFO of Goldman Sachs, like of IB in capital markets. Like, all right, like there's some validity to this person, right? He's being transparent. He doesn't know what he's doing, but like he's got the contacts. And so a big thing I did was relationship building.
Yep.
And that's what I teach in the Discord as well. It's like, do not be transactional at all. Like actually give a fuck. But like even on like a lighter note, Andre's gonna come to me and he's gonna be like, yo, bro, like I just got into ice skating. I'm gonna have 15 questions for him. I'm like, yo, I'll go with you. and then it's like, all right, we have this first interaction. I'm not gonna pitch him next time either. I'm gonna like actually make him feel like I care about him and actually care about him. You know, I think that's a big thing that's misconstrued. People just see someone that has more money or success or following than them. It's like, I can benefit from that. I can benefit from
Speaking my
that.
language, bro.
Yeah, and it's like, dude, I like wanted to give, and I would reach out to these people, even like Calicrates and other people like that were heavily involved in real estate. I was like, hey, I have like a buyer, I have a really big financier, you know, like I'd love to send stuff your way. I'll take all the legwork. Like I wanted people to feel like I was a value add, and it paid off, right? And then they introduced me to other people, and it kind of snowballs from there, and you gain a good respect, and you know,
And where do you think that comes from? Because obviously, I don't know much about your background, but we've all had pretty fortunate upbringings. Like, do you feel like you have like a sense of responsibility to give back, or where does that come from, do you think?
That's a good question. I'm not going to say I came from the trenches by all means. I grew up in Carlsbad, California. It's a beautiful area. And I'm very thankful for the life my parents gave me. And I had a beautiful home, lived near a park, go to the beach pretty much every single day, surf, all that. I had everything I ever wanted. I'm very, very grateful for that. I just think it's who I was, like, inadvertently. Like, I was just always a people person. I loved people. I loved having friends. I loved making people smile. Yeah. And it was just, like, how I was. Like, I'm sure you all can relate, too. Like, giving makes you feel so much better than receiving. Yeah. Like, I would rather give $10,000 than take $10,000. I'll be straight up.
Yeah.
You know?
That's facts.
It's true.
And it's like the genuineness to it, as well as I think what gets you to where you're at now. Like, you show up here, you're just yourself. Like, very like foolproof yourself. Like, you're not trying to put on a show. You're not trying to be someone else. And I feel like that translates to people.
Sure.
And I like what you said about like actually giving a fuck and not just giving a fuck because what you can get in return.
Yeah.
And like, if you show up that way.
People can smell that too.
You
can know that like right away.
You can't write in giving a fuck as like part of your marketing diagram where it's like first I give a fuck, then I do this, then I sell them.
Yeah,
like, no,
exactly.
You have to want to build a genuine relationship with the person.
And dude, there's been times in my life where like I've needed something, like whether it's business related or whatever, right? A retweet at the bare minimum, and it's like I spent a year like just shooting the shit and like supporting them, commenting on their stuff, reaching out, how you doing, calling them. And they're like, absolutely. Or even it comes to the point where they just do it without even me asking. And that's like ultimately what you want, right? Yeah. You know? So.
Yeah, I feel like, fortunate upbringing aside, like we're kind of all in the same boat. I mean, we started the agency with just like our own money, and obviously it doesn't cost much to start an agency. So we never had like, I don't know, we didn't have a similar relationship to what you had, but we had role models and stuff.
Yeah.
But I feel like regardless of the upbringing, you still have to have that drive.
Sure, yeah.
And you talked about that when you were kind of like when you had that opportunity vehicle, when you started working with your uncle, you were just like, fuck it, I'm just going to go all in here.
Yeah.
I guess, was that the first time you really all went all in on something, or at this point had you been just grinding your ass off on like DoorDash and other things for a couple years?
It was, and that's a great question as well, because kind of a funny thing about me is that I have so many interests and hobbies. Like, I love doing things and traveling. Like, I got my skydiving license, doing that, or learning how to fly a plane I'm doing right now, or I want to climb a mountain. Like all these things I love to do, and it's like, look, parents can't subsidize that, right? It's great growing up, and they're gonna help you, play club basketball and stuff. Like that's what they did for me. But like, it's like, yo, Jake, like if you want to do all these things, you got to make your own money, and that's what kind of got me into entrepreneurship and being a business owner. Is I can't do these things if I don't have a lot of money, and I love to do these things, so might as well work my ass off so I can do that. And I'd rather do it with people I love as well. You know what I mean? It's like same thing with like a pizza, right? You're not gonna buy a large pizza and eat it by yourself. Like, yeah, you can. Like, I've been a fat ass sometimes in my life, but it's 10 times more fun if I'm having one slice and all my dogs are eating.
Facts.
I
like that.
Yeah.
Everyone wins together, and that's kind of the environment that you're creating with this new business.
Yeah, man.
And so, like, entrepreneurship's the vehicle that kind of allow you to do these other extremities of life, like skydiving and rock climbing and all these cool experiences. So how have you kind of transitioned from just doing business and sales and closing, which there's fun involved? I just feel like you now have created a lifestyle business that within the business itself allows you to do these other things, which is so dope.
I thank you. First off, I really appreciate that. And Irrational Optimism, that's what you're referencing, correct? Yeah. So that kind of came out of nowhere. And it snowballed quick, as you had mentioned when we were getting the cigars downstairs. Like, everybody knows about it now. Like, Dakota Robertson put it on his IG post the other day. He was like, surround yourself with a rational optimist. And it got like a couple thousand likes. I was like, oh my God. Like, I didn't even, like, him and I are boys, but I didn't tell him to do that, you know? I was at like I had like a couple shitty things happen to me in my personal life like a couple months ago. Powered through it, and then I just like realized how beautiful life was again, and I had like this huge love for just I love everything. And I was tweeting like that, and all my posts were just like caps, like let's go, or me commenting on other people's things like I love you guys, whatever. And I just for some reason had this like random idea one day. I was like, I would love to create a Discord community. And I put a tweet out. I was like, hey, if I created an Irrational Optimism Discord community, like, would you guys be interested in that? And it blew up. I got like 30,000 like views and stuff on Twitter, tons of comments. people are hitting me up like, hey, when is this happening? When is this happening? I was like, oh my God, I need to do this. So I spent the next week just like, I kind of put all the other stuff on pause, which, was kind of irresponsible, but I, built out the entire Discord. I had my really good friend Denise help me. So big shout out to Denise for the Discord. But I loaded it with value content and I released it, and like I sold out in spots on pre-sale. I only wanted to get 200 people in there at first and just focus on them, right? It's completely free. And within a couple weeks, like everybody's talking about it. Everybody's posting about it. Everyone's like, yo, this changed my life. I didn't even know I needed this until I was in here, all that stuff. And I was like, oh my God, man, like again, ties back to what we were saying. There's nothing better than giving and like making people feel better.
So who is this community for, and what does it look like inside?
So it's ideally for like, younger men. But then as it started to develop, like we have a couple girls in there that are awesome and they're entrepreneurs or just like adopting the mindset of irrational optimism is really applicable to pretty much anyone. We got a guy in there who's older as well. But look, ideally it's for younger men who are either like don't know what to do after high school, don't know what to do like even if they're in college, or out of college they don't know what to do, or they're just like kind of at like a stuck point in their life. Because I know y'all can relate having those like environments or friends where it's like nobody understands what you're doing, they don't respect it, or you're a black sheep, you get put down. And it's more so like actually creating genuine relationships within the group because it's all like-minded people. No one in that group is going to put someone down. If they do, they're getting castrated. You know what I mean? Like there's very specific rules that the girls come in, like absolute no sexual harassment. You treat them with respect. They're one of us. Like, and they feel that. Like they genuinely feel welcomed. And like it's 200 people. So let's say like when you guys join, immediately you have 200 other people that go to war for you. Yeah. And they feel that. It's not transactional. It's a free Discord. Everybody's helping each other out. There's all facets of, there's 5 pillars. It's health and like fitness, business, girls, which is kind of funny. And, so it's health, girls, business, mindset, obviously, and routine. And so it's me sharing how I live my life, which I think is in a really good direction. And then other people learning from that and sharing how it's, changing their life.
So what's your routine look like right now, day to day?
So look, I'm not gonna sit here and I've been exhausted lately. So like I've been really, really working on adding more content to the Discord, expanding it, doing all these plans. So I've been staying up pretty late and just kind of like Batman caving it lately, just like grinding down. So my routine isn't the most perfect. I'm not gonna say here like I have a flawless routine, but like ideally it's get up early, 7:00. Don't look at my phone. Go for like an hour long walk or something. Just let my brain wake up and think. Take care of myself, brush my teeth, shower, all that stuff, and then deep work for a couple hours until like it's 12:00. Eat lunch, and then I have this thing that I recently discovered. It's called the anti-productivity hack, where for 5 hours a week, Monday through Friday, you devote that time with no distractions to learning something. It could be anything: thermodynamics, music theory, psychology, whatever. And you're just kind of like dopamine resetting and expanding your horizon, right? Just becoming a more interesting person, get some education in. And then after that, it's exercise and then social interaction. And the easiest way for me to break this down for you guys is the optimal day just boils down to 3 things. It's work, exercise, and social interaction. If you do those 3 things, that is a productive day in my book.
What does a social interaction look like?
It could be going on a date. It could be going out to dinner with your friends. It could be going on a bike ride with your friends. It's just some sort of interaction with other human beings. Because so the thing that I'm pushing heavy is anti-monk mode. I think that shit's bullshit. I'm not gonna like just sit alone and not talk to anyone. Like we're human beings. Like we need other human beings to interact with.
There's also just like a disproportionately high amount of people that don't interact with people anymore since COVID.
Yeah.
Like people can literally just work from home, not go out, and just like live their life for months on end.
Yeah, I don't think it's good.
Yeah.
I call it social butterfly maxing. Go out and meet someone. Like I challenge these people every single day, even if it's a girl you think is cute. Bro, the worst thing that happens is she says no. You're gonna regret it more if you don't go up to her, right?
Mario mode.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
facts.
Yeah, it's true. Or like say what up to a random person. Like my thing is like I'm always complimenting people, and it's real. Like I'll see some guy with like a cool ass jacket. I'm like, bro, I love your jacket. And like nobody does that anymore.
Probably made their day.
Yeah, exactly.
Christian's been giggling since you complimented his shoes when you walked in.
Yeah, see what I
made his
mean?
weekend.
Yeah.
Someone
They're
actually likes
awesome
them.
too.
No, I appreciate
I would
it.
rock those too. Pink's my favorite color.
It's a great color. It's a masculine color.
Very true. Real men wear pink.
So what's like the future for Irrational Optimists? Is it Optimism or Optimists?
Irrational Optimism.
Okay.
So they are Irrational Optimists, right?
I feel like I see a ecom brand on the back end of this company.
Yeah, so we're for sure going to get some merch going. Here's a kind of a funny spoiler. I'm going to get an IO tattoo.
I was gonna say you got a bunch of tattoos.
Yeah, so I'm going to get an Irrational
Where are you
Optimism
gonna get
tattoo. I don't know yet. I've been thinking about it, but our logo is like the triangle and IO, it's like synthwave.
Go face tat. For
Yeah,
that.
look, is
like the
it
teardrop, the
impulsive?
teardrop.
Yeah. It is super impulsive, and I get that, but like I also want to reiterate my commitment to this because like now this stuff is snowballing. I couldn't stop if I wanted it to. You know what I mean? Like I took on a lot here, and it's a lot of responsibility, but like I'm not gonna give up on this. Like this shit means the world to me, and so I'm gonna get a tattoo in that. But for the future of it, I want it to be globally known. I want it to be globally known. And like I said, I just opened it up to the first 200 people, and I just wanted to focus on them and build a good relationship and good foundation for it. And then in March 1st, right, for anyone that's watching, March 1st, if you want to get in, this is the time to do it. I'm going to let in another 200 people and do the same thing for another month or two. And then maybe open it up again one more time. But then I'm going to, like, after that, I'm going to publicly open it. But my whole plan is to do, like, a whole social media takeover, right? Promoting Irrational Optimism, the mindset, make all the content around that. Twitch is huge right now. So I'm pushing Twitch heavy. The only thing that sucks about
You
Twitch.
stream right now?
Yeah, so within the Discord, we have 2 live calls a week. One's an AMA on Wednesdays, and the other one's Sundays, like a mentorship live call where I come up with a topic and I talk about it. You know, let's say it's just like, you know, business and what's going on with business or like what you should do. You know, there's endless things we can talk about. But I moved that instead of Zoom on Sundays over to Twitch. And I paid some guy on Fiverr to like completely customize it, and it's awesome. And so like, I got the whole Twitch set up. But
Are you thinking of doing more like lifestyle stuff just on Twitch, like outside of people in the community in order to grow the community? And bring
yeah,
more
so
people
like
in?
when it's more public, like when anybody can just see the link and join, I want them to like, all right, go to the Twitch calls, right? And like pump the Twitch.
Yeah.
Dude, that'd be sick.
I feel like the content piece is so important for this,
Yeah.
right? Because you kind of have to like document the journey and show people like what it actually looks like to be an irrational optimist. And like your story and some of the things you mentioned remind me of guys on YouTube like Yes Theory. I'm sure you've come across, or
Sure.
That Was Epic, and even like Nelk Boys and Gideon, like all these creators online that just like go out into the real world and like have like really cool, interesting human interactions.
yeah.
So like, oh yeah, you
The
think
Nelk
about
Boys?
Gideon?
Yeah.
Oh okay, Nelk Boys.
Just like pranking people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
that's
but like
funny.
stuff like that, like whatever is interesting to you. So like, what are your plans for content, and do you plan to like do stuff like that?
That's a great question. Honestly, I think the best type of content is for me just to document more what I'm doing.
Exactly.
We all live really cool lives. We all do awesome things. And like you don't need to be some super successful person or super rich person to have a life of adventure and fun and genuine relationship. It's honestly more so me moving forward is just making sure everything's documented. But I'm also like a big thing that I want to like preface all this with is there's an accountability on my end as well. You know what I mean? I can't tell all these people to live a good life and eat well and to treat other people's, you know, appropriately and all that stuff if I'm not doing it. Obviously, that was the foundation of this, but it's also like an accountability on my end. So like I also want to make this content. I want it to be from the heart. I want people to know I am practicing what I'm preaching. So, yeah.
That's dope, bro. And I feel like you can't.
I appreciate
fake,
that.
I feel like you can't fake the level of enthusiasm and energy you have. So, like,
Thank you,
Where
bro.
does that come from? Because like, there's definitely some days where I'm just like, please don't talk to me. I'm very.
Yeah, I feel
adamant,
that.
Like,
It's funny, right? So there's kind of a meme within the Discord now. Is I get so excited that I throw up. I swear to God, bro, it's crazy.
Wait, like actually?
I actually will throw, like, I'll get so amped up and so excited. Like, I'll wake up and everyone's like, good morning. And like, we're getting so excited. And people are texting me like, oh, I love you, man, or you changed my life. And then you see the direction of it going and people are posting about it. And like, it's just a really big compounding effect of like positivity. I would literally get so excited I'd throw up.
I don't think
I
I've
swear
ever,
to God, bro.
It's like Josh Allen.
No, it's
I've never heard that
crazy.
before.
It's actually crazy. I'll get like so excited I'd throw up.
Have you always been this way?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. It's just like who I am, bro. Like I just like love people. I love life, and like yeah, I'm not always like this. You know, I'll have my down days, but
I
at
was
the end
gonna
of
say because I feel like if you give so much attention to like other people's perspectives and like compliments and stuff like that, on the flip side of it, like the negativity and just people coming at you with like bullshit, that is also easy to get to if you give in to the other, like the positive side of it. So like, how do you deal with, I guess, haters, but just negativity in general? Because this territory, it comes with both, right?
Yeah, no, of course. And it's funny, right? As this starts to grow, we're going to get people like, oh, you're copying the war room, or you're a piece of shit, or this is stupid, or like people will attack me personally if someone doesn't like me. And I think what it really boils down to is how comfortable you are in yourself. And so a big thing that's like I've spent a lot of time working on is comedic relief. It's kind of silly, right? But when an inconvenient situation happens to me or a shitty situation happens to me, I have the ability to laugh at it. Obviously, if something severe happens, I'm not going to be there giggling like the Joker. But like, let's say like, you know, I go up to this girl and I approach her and I fall and I shit my pants and all this shit happens.
That actually happened to me, bro.
No way. And it's just like awful.
Threw up.
Yeah, exactly. Or throw up in front of her or something like that.
Got
Like,
so excited, he's like, "Bleh."
yeah, for real.
Or you black out at Bar Howard.
Yeah, some shit like that. And you just like act a fool. I've worked on being so comfortable in my own skin that I'll laugh at that. And then I'll go home and say like my bed breaks or something like that, or like the wall, like our apartment will get flooded. It's like you just gotta laugh. And like even if you don't really feel that way, even that practice of laughing at an inconvenient situation helps it tremendously.
100%.
You
Dude,
know?
the most beautiful part about the brand that you're building is that the defense against any hater is within the name itself. It's like, yeah, I already told you it was irrational.
Yeah.
But what's the downside to being
love
one of
that.
these doom and gloom motherfuckers?
Yeah,
I mean, like all
exactly.
the world's ending. Like, there's actually no benefit
Yeah.
to thinking like rationally about the downside sometimes. Like, yeah, I know it's irrational, but if I'm just keeping a positive mindset, I'm going to win out more than you will.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I mean, I already admit it's irrational.
Yeah.
But so what? This is what we're doing.
That's awesome. And so, yeah, we're at war with the rational pessimists. So if you're a rational pessimist watching this, I'm coming for you. Second, here's another thing, though, that's very, very important about this message, though. So are you guys familiar with the Stockdale paradox?
No.
Interesting. All right.
Stockdale paradox?
Stockdale paradox.
Okay.
He was a general or high-ranking military official that got kidnapped during the Vietnam War. He was a POW, got tortured for years. And the people who were just irrationally optimistic the entire time were the ones who died first. But the people who were still positive, all right, I'm hopeful I'm going to get out of this, but also realistic that I may not, are the ones that ended up surviving. So this is a real, like, proven psychological thing. It's taught in like many universities, right? He teaches this. And that's the same thing that like is very symbiotic to irrational optimism. I don't want someone to be going through life like, yes, I want people to try their absolute hardest, but if they're working on something, it's been a year or 10 months or something, and it's just not moving, I want them to realize that, right? I don't want people just to be irrationally trying something, right? I know like there's got to be some reality to this, and it's like, and this is what I've been saying lately, you got to grow horizontally sometimes to grow vertically. You don't need to always keep going. It's not going to go, like, if it's not going your way, you got to be able to realize that. Like, there's got to be harsh reality checks. And so that's something I'm very, very particular about as this, movement starts to spread. Because, like, think about it. Someone's just pushing and pushing and pushing on this business. And at the end of the day, it's not that their effort isn't there, or not that it's not good. It's like, hey, this doesn't work. Yeah. You need to be aware of that.
So the paradox is the irrational optimist died first.
Yeah.
So what? So you're basically saying like, go.
We're all dying first.
Yeah,
we're,
we're
not
all
getting,
dying
we're not
first.
getting
Does that just
tortured.
mean like go hard and then?
Look, I could be butchering this, right?
No, I think he's saying like, yes, it's Irrational Optimism is the brand. It's a good name. I think it's cool, and it's just like you'd rather be on that end of the spectrum than the complete opposite side of the spectrum. But there obviously is some nuance.
Yes.
Like you want to work hard. You want to have that belief in yourself that you can build something special, but you also have to have some sort of sense where, like, okay, if something isn't working out, like if I'm in a toxic relationship,
yeah, exactly,
it's gonna be time to cut ties. Or if
exactly.
my offer just sucks. If I'm selling, software development to plumbers, I'm an idiot. I should just at some point pivot. So I think that's what he's trying to say there.
Yeah, exactly. You put it nicely, bro. I appreciate that.
And those are like tough times, right? Like when you come to that realization that like all your hard work and effort is not going to pan out. Like that's tough, and that sometimes is what pushes people to the other spectrum of like being a pessimist.
Yeah.
And that's why I think what you're building is so important.
Thank
because
you.
when that happens, like to a specific person, they have the community to fall back on. Right.
There's a huge support system in there. Like any problem, right? I preface this like you guys can come to me for anything, But I don't want it to just be me, right? Like, yes, I'm the mentor in essence, but there's other people in there who are more versed in other things than I'm not. Like, you know, I'm not going to act there like I'm an expert at everything. There's a whole point of building the community is that there's other people who could like stand up. You know what I mean? And like go to them, call these other people. And like recently someone said like something was happening in their life and it was really bad. And every single person in Discord like showed love, was like, I got you. And it was beautiful to see. I didn't tell them to do that. You know what I mean? It's just like the natural progression of it. It was beautiful.
It's just the culture of it.
Yeah.
That you're setting the tone for the culture, and that is what's kind of teaching people the way to act. So yeah, I guess like that's a great question is like in these different communities, how do you create, I guess like a safe space for vulnerability? Because I feel like, especially as men, like it's a lot harder to share that stuff than maybe for like women, right?
Yeah, and I'm super glad you brought that up too, because on my first live call, I actually spilled I was vulnerable. Like I didn't hide anything, right? I wanted them to know everything about me right off the bat, and so they know that I got nothing to hide and I'm just another person as well. So I started the first live call with, like, look, again, like I said, I didn't come from the trenches, but I still went through some shit, you know what I mean? And I shared all that with them, and everybody related heavily because, like, everybody has bad shit happen to them. So I kind of set the stage by doing that.
I gotta find a tweet because I put out something that like relates heavily to this.
That's
but I can't
amazing,
remember
bro.
the quote.
No, yeah,
keep going.
Yeah,
I'm just
no.
gonna find this
And
tweet.
then and another thing with like personal branding moving forward is something that I'm working on that I encourage others to do as well. Is that there's really no authenticity as much as there used to be, or vulnerability nowadays. All you see are the wins. All you see this and that, and it's like you don't learn from the wins, bro. You learn from the failures. You got those wins because of the failures, and like share that. Like, and that's a big thing. It's like, I want to build this and share all the fuck ups I have going on so you guys can skip those steps and get there a lot quicker than I did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So the quote was, strive to become the kind of person with nothing to hide, nothing to fear, nothing to prove.
I love that. That's amazing.
Yeah. I don't
That's
know where
great.
I read it, but that just hit hard. Like all three of those things. Nothing to hide, nothing to fear, nothing to prove.
And you guys are great at that. That's something like when you texted me or texted me back or put on any tweets, like, I would love to have you. I was like, I love you guys. Like, you guys are so like unapologetically yourselves, and it's awesome. It's fucking inspiring because, again, like I said, you don't see that much anymore.
Yep.
100%.
No, I appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, of course.
Like I'm sitting here, I'm like, you show up like ball of energy, right? Like we're loud, there's chaos. And I'm like, I'm not naturally like that.
Yeah.
I'm kind of more like reserved and quiet and shy, I guess. And so like I see that and I'm like, I don't need to be that. Like,
Yeah.
I just need to be myself. And like, I don't know, I feel like a past version of myself would be like, oh, why am I not like super energetic and super positive about everything? It's like not bashing on myself for that and just kind of being more of who I naturally am.
That's
It's just
awesome,
a lot
bro.
easier to be that way.
Yeah,
There's like less
exactly.
stress, less to think about.
Exactly, bro. I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Something
I want to talk about so you grew up in California.
Yep.
You live in Miami with Logan. How'd you guys meet?
Oh, dude, it's awesome. So
Everything's awesome. I love it.
everything's great, bro. So remember I told you I grew up with Dude's younger brother, like my best friend. Obviously, like just as a byproduct, I was tight with his older brother, Dude, the Lab. And excuse me, fucking voice crack. I started to like kind of gain a little bit of like following on Twitter. I was like 1,200 followers, nothing crazy. And like retweeted something or quote tweeted like, hey, this man's up and coming, like follow him, whatever. And then Logan followed me one time, and I actually reached out to him because of his fitness stuff.
Oh, dope.
I wanted to get in shape. I was like, again, like I said, I was in a really bad place during the pandemic. I was super skinny. Like, I don't know if you guys see my transformation photo, but like I looked terrible. And I reached out to Logan. I was like, hey, like, what's this about? And like, we had a sales call. I actually ended up not working with him because it just like didn't fell through. I had family shit going on. I also didn't have any money, so it fell through. But we were like still boys. And then I was also becoming friends with Luke because of the offer I was on. Luke was like working with them or selling business partners with them. Luke Alexander.
Oh, okay.
And Logan put a tweet out, was like, hey, like I'm thinking about moving to Miami. You know, I don't really want to get like a 1-bedroom. Like it's gonna be like $5,000 for 1 bedroom. Like, you know, who's moving there, or like what are some good neighborhoods to look at? And then Luke and I were like boys, and he tagged me underneath it. And so Logan is also super tight with Do, and I obviously grew up with, you know what I mean? So there was some mutual connection there. And he reached out to me. He's like, yo, bro, I see you're friends with Do. Like, Do said great things about you. And I said, like, yo, same to you, bro. Like, you trying to move to Miami? I was like, bro, I'll leave tomorrow. And we just like had like 1 or 2 phone calls. And he's like, all right, fuck it. Let's get an apartment. sign an apartment down in Brickell, and I was like, all right, bro, I'll be there in a couple weeks. And it's like, it's been amazing ever since, bro. There's been like, it has literally have been like moving to Miami with him has made it the most seamless transition in my like life ever. There's been no friction in the friendship. He's my best friend, and like I would do anything for this guy, and I know he would do the same. And it's like, I credit a lot of like my growth and personal branding and business and mindset and all that stuff to him too. Cause like he's a veteran, right? In this space. Like he's kind of a founding father of this stuff in some aspect. And like, he's been really, really helpful to me, and I'll always credit that.
And for the people, I mean, Brickell's not a cheap place. Even
No.
if you are doing a 2-bedroom,
Yeah.
were you doing pretty well in business at that point?
So
or were
I
you
was
more like,
actually
fuck it?
just doing closing then as
Okay.
well. And so it was kind of back against the wall. You know, it's like every month we got to make rent. Rent wasn't that expensive. It was like $17.50 a month. But like it was like my like survival or money was based off of commission.
Yeah.
So like if the leads were slow then, like I was fucked. So I had to like go hard in the paint. And then him and I are like, you guys know we're party animals. So we would get like a crazy month and then go blow it all in the club on a Monday. We're like, all right, fuck it, back to the phones tomorrow. You know?
Back to the funnels.
Yeah.
Moving to a new city is like a common topic within our space, right? Because people grow up, like you said, in environments where they're frowned upon or just they can't find a supportive group or community,
Yeah.
whether it's a small town in America or just somewhere off the grid. So moving to a place like Miami is obviously super beneficial because
Yeah.
you're around not just Logan, but kind of the energy
You
down
guys,
there
so-
is key. So like, what's your advice to someone that is moving to a new city and kind of just starting anew? Like, how do you meet new people? How do you find the best spots to go to, build relationships? What does that all look like?
That's a great question. I think there's another thing I want to add to that is like even like in the same realm of like entrepreneurship, right? I want people that are watching this to hedge your like risk financially as much as possible. Like stack your bread, whether you're bartending 2 jobs or you're door dashing, like make sure you have a cushion, right? So you're not going there and just stressed out. Like now you're lonely and now you don't have any money. Like you are in control of how much money you can make to some aspects. So like make sure that's like a priority. But moving to a new city, honestly, like it ties back into like making the environment as small as possible. I took that same mindset to when I moved to Miami as I did in San Diego State, as I did in high school and middle school. So no matter where I am, I'm going to say what's up to someone. Even if they're working there. Hey, what's up, man? I'm Jake. I'm new to the area. Like, you know, what are some fun things I could do? Just like, I know it's like, it's so much easier said than done too, because not everyone like might have that extrovertedness that I have. But it's honestly at the end of the day, it's like, do you want to be lonely or not? And you got to like step out of your comfort zone to do that. And you're going to meet quality people doing quality things. I'm not saying people who go to clubs and bars and stuff are bad people, but like you want to meet people who are doing things that are holistic in some sense, that are wholesome. Go to the parks, ride bikes, go to the rock climbing gym, go surfing, you know, like join a club, go to a gym. Like you're going to meet the people you want to meet doing the things that you love. And at the end of the day, you already have some semblance of congruence, right? You already know something you both like. It'll be easier to make friends.
Yeah.
And like at some point when I joined a rock climbing gym in like Kendall in Miami, I made like 10 friends there just because I would just like shoot the shit. It's like, yo, bro, how do you do this? Or like, I was like, I was humble enough to know I wasn't the shit in there, but I also like was making friends and saying what's up to people, being tight with the workers, and I still do that. Do you guys know what Primo's is in South Beach? It was this really, really well-known pizza place. It shut down for a little bit and it just reopened. And like every single day when I ride my bike past it, I say what's up to the manager. And we're dogs. And he invited me to poker night with all of his friends. You know what I mean? It's just like how it goes. Just saying what's up to people and genuinely caring what they have to say. There's no transaction going on here. I just want to be friends with you.
It's not really like a strategy.
Yeah, no, you just like say what's up to people.
Yeah, I think it's cool to be connected with people that have influence, have success and wealth, not even for what they can do for you, but just like being friends with them on a level where it's not even about business. Because I feel like a lot of the people they come across just want something from them or want to extract some sort of transaction from them. So if you're just boys with them, they'll obviously put value you a lot higher than other people around them.
Yeah, well, also like at the end of the day, like you be around high value people, like you're gonna have high value experiences. And we're gonna have great conversations like we are right now. We're gonna have meaningful like memories, you know.
Yeah.
I guess another follow-up question to just like moving from Cali to Miami. I feel like that's probably the 2 most common states where people on Money Twitter come from. Ohio too. There's
Ohio's crazy.
So many people from Ohio.
Yeah.
But let's talk about what's your take on California versus Florida? Like what's what have you enjoyed more so far, and kind of like break that down.
All right, so first off, we need to take California back. California's gone, and it's sad, right? Because like it is the best state in the world, but it's gone. It's fucking expensive. All the politics, all that bullshit. Like it's a disaster now, and it sucks, right? Because I grew up there when it wasn't like that, and it was amazing. The biggest thing that really bothers me about both those two is that Florida doesn't have any terrain. Like that, like
Florida's
stereotype.
just straight up flat.
Yeah, that stereotype that you hear. Like I would literally wake up at like 4 a.m. before school and go and like surf before school, and then after class, like we would go to Big Bear and snowboard. Shit like that. That was like a real thing we did. And then when it was in like other times when the school's out on winter break, like surf, the best surf is in the winter in California. So it's freezing, whatever. You get a thick wetsuit, you surf, and then you go snowboard right after. And like I hate that Florida doesn't have that. I can't go and snowboard. Surf. I tried surfing the other day. It was like
You can't surf.
Yeah, it was
really.
ridiculous. So I was like, dude, who? Like, and everyone was out there trying to surf. The waves weren't bad, but it was like 1 to 2 foot waves. Like this is a waste of time. Like, yeah, I look cool carrying a surfboard down here, but like I want to have fun, you know? So that's probably my biggest thing.
Okay. So
Because California is like adventurous, bro. I can go to
Yeah.
Yosemite, I can mountain climb, I can rock climb, I can surf, snowboard. There's deserts and like forest, like it's everything, bro. And I love it. I love being outside.
but it sounds like Florida now just more culturally aligns. with
Well,
where you're
see,
at.
so, okay, so here's another thing. So the people in Florida are amazing. I think they're way better. I can have like how I am in Florida with like saying what up to everybody, making friends. I can't do that in California. The
Why do you
person,
think that is?
I don't know.
I feel like it's the same in New York. People are just like arrogant.
Yeah, but they're like
closed
they're
off
like
almost.
No, well,
Oh, well, New York, you can do that.
because they're straight up just like fuck off.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
they-
And I
they-
love that
they don't- They
colorfulness.
don't really care. I feel like in California, I don't know. I've only been out there once, but I feel like the follow up question is like, yo, so what are you working on? Like, you
Yeah.
know, are you producing this thing? I'd love to be a part of it.
Yeah.
It's like always like,
Transactional.
yeah.
they're expecting that. Where like New York, they just don't even want to talk.
Yeah, they
to
don't
you.
give a fuck. They're just
Yeah.
like fuck off. But like Florida's like such a melting pot of culture, and I love that. There's so many diverse like people that you can interact with and learn so much, and there's so many different backgrounds, and everyone's got a personality. In California, I'm not saying that they don't, but like it's like New York, then they won't even talk to you. Like I'll be in the line and be like, yo, what's up, man? Like nice hat. I'm like, bro, I'm not like hitting on you, or I'm not like trying to rob you. Like, what's the matter? And so that's a huge thing.
Yeah.
And
So to people, because there are obviously people all around the world listening to this that might live in New York or might live around types of people like that.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's very demotivating when
Yeah.
you're like all like amped up to go out and try this stuff and introduce yourself to people and like no one's really responding. So what would you say to those types
I
of
laugh.
people?
I laugh. Like I had something super funny happen to me a couple weeks ago. I was I was at Joe's Crab Shack, and I went to ask this lady for this extra chair. Like she was just like there with like her boyfriend or something, and they had an extra chair. I was like, yo, can I have this? She literally just flipped me off. Dude, it was so crazy. I couldn't believe it, bro.
In
I just,
Miami?
yeah, and I just laughed my ass off. I was like, this is ridiculous, bro. And I just laugh at those
you
things.
just
I
brush
think
it
it's
off.
funny, right?
Yeah.
And like another lens to look through it is like I love when shitty things like that happen to me, so I can tell my friends. You know what I mean?
It's a
And, like,
story.
it's a story. I'm sure you guys all roast each other as well. Like,
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like I can't wait
Usually
for
me.
shit like that to
Yeah,
happen.
usually just Christian.
Yeah.
He gets the
Actually,
the butt
can
end
I
of the joke.
can I interrupt real quick?
Yeah.
I think it's time.
Oh, fuck.
You guys thought I forgot.
Oh, no.
I actually forgot. And
You guys
you
thought I
actually-
forgot.
I actually hoped you did forget, but
No, this is great. This
Okay,
is huge,
so
right?
So people are listening to this on audio and they're like, what's
What is
about to
going
happen?
on?
Yeah.
So
paint the picture for them.
also go to YouTube.
Yeah, you
subscribe.
gotta watch
Just
this.
go to YouTube
Yeah, yeah.
because
so I
Every
brought
like is another egg.
Stick Talk Podcast.
I brought a dozen eggs,
Like, subscribe.
and we're gonna slonk.
Are these
Some
based
raw
eggs
eggs.
though? Christian.
You know, they're good. No, they're not. But they're farm fresh, right? They're farm fresh. And so we're all gonna slonk for the people that are on audio. We're gonna slonk
nervous.
some eggs.
what does that mean?
Yeah, I mean, literally, you just eat the egg
you
raw.
eat it raw.
Yeah, you eat a raw egg, and
I've never
all
done
three
this.
of these
Or
guys have
just-
never done it before.
what do you do?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
chew it,
No,
bro. I think you gotta
you
just,
can
like-
eat the shell. So the shell,
Whoa.
like the calcium in the shell, is really, really good.
I don't think I'm gonna eat the shell.
No, it's honestly like not that
Scott,
bad.
you
You
want
guys
one?
are tripping. It's not. It's really not that
you
bad.
don't want one?
He's got to do one.
Two
too.
eggs.
He's gotta
See,
do
we all
one.
got to do
He's
it.
gotta
It's
do one.
bonding. It's a bonding.
You're part of the
experience.
Stick Talk team, for
Yeah.
better or worse.
Yeah,
you don't
gotta-
have a choice.
gotta do it.
Producer.
All right, y'all. There you go.
All right, wait, hold on. Let me set
guys
this
are
down
fun.
and go
Yeah.
grab some some napkins just in case.
Yeah.
Sure.
So basically, you're just fucking.
Just crack it and open her up.
Jeez.
Dude,
I'm putting the
what?
mic down.
You don't want
This-
the ASMR?
No.
How many of these have you done?
I've done a dozen.
Yo, you got to, bro. You got to.
Disgusting.
He's part of the team. I did a dozen the other day. It was nuts.
A
I
dozen?
did a dozen. There was a guy in my Discord.
It makes me feel a little bit better.
Wait, but can we talk about this? Like, what is the benefit? What's the like? How did this
It's
Why am I
originate?
doing
It's
this?
like protein in its like purest form.
But like, how did this originate? Because now it's like a thing. I went to your profile and it's like a.
It's funny,
montage
right?
of
Because
people
it, like
just
it's not
opening an egg and
like
eating it.
I'm not the originator of Slonking raw eggs, right? There's like a huge like
Rocky
I mean,
Balboa is.
Yeah, exactly. But
That's what he used to do before his runs.
what it was at the end of the day, it was kind of like a against the grain type of thing to do. Again, like I know to us, like we're in our little bubble.
No,
like
I'm nervous.
People, everybody knows, like it's not that big of a deal. But like all the people in the Discord, it's like
Break down the percent chance of salmonella.
zero. If anybody gets salmonella from Slonking a raw egg, I will personally Venmo you $10,000.
I hope I get it then.
Let me just get the G wagon
Yeah, you can take the G wagon
Yeah,
too. I'll
give me
use
the
it as
keys.
collateral.
for 1 week.
I don't want to make a mess.
All
That's
right.
what I'm saying. We'll use this as like the.
This is great. This is huge, bro.
Cheers.
Also, Scott got a mullet. You can feature that. It looks great.
Wait, could you do it? Like, are we gonna all do it together?
I feel like it doesn't
Crack
doesn't
her
taste
up,
like anything.
Open it.
I'm gonna make a mess.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
Oh,
Not bad.
Oh.
Tastes like an oyster.
tastes disgusting.
I got egg yolk on my neck.
All right, well,
Yo,
First time doing that.
All right, so y'all should try the shell. Just a little bit of it.
I didn't really get that. I,
I got a
didn't really
bunch
get
of
the white.
shit on the floor.
It's all right.
That's
Oh,
why I
the
brought out
kid-
the napkin, bro.
The consistency of that is
Yeah,
like.
it's awful,
I didn't mind that at all.
huh?
It was just not.
I mean, we also like. I just like I didn't want to be late to this. So,
Yeah, you gotta finish him now.
all of them. Fuck it.
You.
That wasn't bad.
It's not bad. I told you.
That was fuck.
Honestly, not as bad as I thought.
Yeah, I told you.
Didn't really taste
Dan's
like much.
It's
Oh,
wow. Okay. So look
Didn't
now.
make much of a mess.
Now the podcast becomes a podcaster. What are your thoughts on your
So,
first raw egg slonk?
first
Both
off-
of you. All three of you.
Am I a psycho if I didn't? I kind of liked that. I don't know.
Hey,
Wasn't
No,
bad.
it's great, bro. It's like it's really good for you.
What you know about diet Coke?
Well, Fitz loves it, the phenylethylamine.
now we're gonna have a conversation.
It was just
me
like
and
an
Scott.
oyster.
After
Yeah,
like an
this.
it's not,
oyster.
dude, it's not bad.
Scott's gonna be asking for a pay raise after that.
Yeah, he's like, hey guys, you're really putting me in my.
No, I love it though. Seek discomfort. That's like the number
Yeah,
one.
that's what it
shout-out
was, right?
follow
It's a
on-
weird thing to
on
do.
Yes
Like,
Theory.
you guys have never done it before. You're like, fuck this, and it's like, it's kind of like the foundation of the seeking
We need to short
discomfort.
form that up and tweet it out.
Yeah.
Raw eggs.
The preview to the episode.
Yeah, actually, Scott, can you make editor notes to make that like the
Mr. Producer.
like just put it at the start of the episode? Because I don't want to just slonk an egg for no one to see it. Because I don't know how many people watch it this far in the podcast.
All of them are.
All of them
All
are.
of them are.
Facts.
We'll
Dude,
just
that was
tease it.
cool.
Dude, I'm honestly having a great time. Like, thank you guys for letting
We're
me
gonna
come
be
here. I
Rogan in
appreciate
5
this.
years, and we're gonna be
Appreciate
putting
it.
on like a
Appreciate
high
you
ticket
being
masterclass on podcasting and just talk about
Raw
the egg
eggs.
slonking retention system.
Statistics on that are pretty good. 1 in 20,000.
It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. I promise.
I hope it does, dude.
I do
10K.
too.
10K. Yeah. Look.
take it.
Look. We caught it on film
He promised
too.
me the G wagon for a week.
Yeah. Fuck. I'm fucked over here.
Shit.
What do you want?
Take me on a yacht in Miami.
Don, we're going on one tomorrow. You guys want to come?
Asking to go on another man's yacht? Come on now.
It's not his yacht either.
I'm
Sorry,
fucking
bro.
with you, all right?
See, this is why they make fun of me because I always get mad.
No,
That's
but
like
I love
Noah.
that. I love
But-
like the seek discomfort, right?
Yeah.
Like doing shit for the first time or
That
just
was
doing
good.
things that like you would rather not do, right? Like skydiving is probably not something that like
I'm not-
everyone like.
no.
I
No.
think
so
it'd
let
be
me.
cool.
No. Let me tell you
Yeah,
guys
go-
about
go into
skydiving.
that.
I'm
bro.
so scared of heights.
No, I get it, bro. But the interesting thing with skydiving is that your depth perception is completely fucked. So like you don't jump off and like get butterflies. You don't go on a roller coaster. You know what I mean? Like your stomach drops. It doesn't happen. So like I said, because your depth perception is off. But when I tell you that it is the most therapeutic thing in the entire world, like I could jump out of a plane and the endorphins release that I get from that and the serotonin, all the amazing feelings, right? Because your brain cannot like process what you just jumped out of a plane at 13,000 feet.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck are you doing? And you land and you feel like you're on top of the world. Like I could like jump out of a plane and then get the worst news possible, and I will be able to handle it significantly better. It's just like extreme sports has been proven to be very therapeutic.
I didn't die jumping out of this plane.
Exactly.
So you're saying instead of jumping into an ice bath in the morning, just jump out of a plane.
Way better.
You know what's crazy? I would much rather skydive than surf.
What?
I'm scared of the ocean, bro. I think like shark
Oh,
attack.
yeah, me too. Me too.
biggest fear.
I feel that, and that's respectable,
I
right?
like
I
won't
get
go
it.
in the ocean.
Because like, dude, we don't even know like I don't know what the percentage is, but like there's a big percentage that we haven't even explored the ocean. We don't know what's out there, and I love that.
Dude, it just scares me like looking at open water
Sure.
and just thinking like it's a whole nother world down there.
You know, there's like a phobia for that. It's called like the thalassophobia or something like
I
that.
have that for sure.
You're going ankle deep. You're not
Dude,
going into
my
the
grandpa went
ocean.
ankle deep in like Myrtle Beach or some shit when he was like growing up, and he got stung by a stingray.
Yep.
The stinger went through his entire foot.
I got
Like
a funny
bullet.
story
Coulda
about that
gotten
too.
Steve Irwin.
I was just about to bring that up. So in San Diego, there's this like camp called Junior Lifeguards. Have you guys ever heard of it? So it's like a fun camp to like just like become a lifeguard kinda, but also like learn ocean safety and like you know what I mean. It's like a camp. And they had one serious lecture day on stingrays. And so the way to mitigate getting stung by a stingray is called the stingray shuffle. You just shuffle your feet when you're walking because if you step on it, it freaks it out and it stabs you. You just slide right over it. It's a stingray shuffle. And I was like freaked out about them. Like they were just super scary because they hypes it up that their stingers got poison in it and it really hurts and blah blah blah. Like all these, like, they were painting a terrible picture. And I was like, all right, I'm over this. And then literally not an hour later after that lecture, some girl got stung by a stingray and she's getting pulled out of the water. There's blood everywhere. She's screaming and crying like she was a wounded warrior. Like it was not like she was in like Iraq, bro, getting pulled out. She's like screaming and people are like holding her and like an ambulance is coming. And I'm like, I go home and I tell my parents like I'm never doing that again. So like
How'd you get over it? Because
I mean, like,
you obviously surf, you're back in the ocean.
yeah, like, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm part Aquaman, so it's like I love it, but that was funny about the stingray stuff.
But like, was there a moment like where, or was it just you didn't think anything of it? You just got back in. It was
Well, like the
whatever?
thing is, it's like people who grow up by the beach, more specifically California. Everybody goes through their first wave that just fucks them up. Like the waves over there are no joke. You know what I mean? And as a kid, everyone's got to experience, it's like a rite of passage growing up over there of getting completely pummeled by a wave. And that's a very, very scary experience. As a young kid, right? You're not as strong, you're not as cognizant, like it's intimidating. The waves are big and you go through that and it's like, all right, am I okay? Yes. Or if it was that traumatizing, like some people just don't go back or just stay on the sand. And like, fortunately, I was with a bunch of friends and they were there and we're all making sure we're okay. But I got a really good piece of advice from my dad at the time. He's like, when that happens to you, you can't fight the wave. So when it's like you're getting smashed and pummeled by the wave, all this stuff, you fight it, you're gonna lose all your oxygen, you're gonna lose all your energy, you're gonna drown, you're gonna freak out. And it's like if you just let it throw you around, hold your breath, it's gonna last a couple seconds and you'll be fine. So that's another thing, right? It's like the make or break it point. It's like everybody, it happens to everybody. You get one wave destroyed by you, and you want to keep doing this or not?
Yeah, I prefer to do things that have a low cause of injury or death. So
It's a boring way to live.
Yeah.
not really. I enjoy it.
I think some adrenaline would go great with you.
Yeah, no, definitely.
We should go skydiving.
I think we
after
should,
that.
bro.
no.
No, for real.
I'd be so down. Are there places in Florida like?
Yeah. So actually the best drop zone in all the United States is in Sebastian, Florida. I think it's closer to us. It's like a couple hours north, but like they have this thing. So it's called AFF. Is like the licensing. You can get AFF in a weekend. So you can get your A license skydiving, 25 jumps. You can jump out of the plane on your own whenever. For like $4,000 or something, I'll get it all done in a weekend if it's weather dependent, right? Like skydiving's a big thing.
So you're jumping out 25 times.
Yeah,
in a
like
weekend?
all in a weekend. You just get it done, and you're just
Because for the first 25, you have to go with somebody, right? And have
yeah.
to be
So there's
attached to somebody?
instructors. There's a whole way to do it and stuff like that. But that drop zone's amazing because they have that. They have this like cargo plane where you can jump out the back of it, like
That's
Call of
sick.
Duty style. Super cool. I've always wanted to do that. And then also like, I'm sure you guys have just seen the twin props where you like jump out the side of the plane and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and that's cool. But I've always wanted to jump out the back, so I want to do that. They have the AFF in a weekend. It's a big drop zone. It's great people. They do like sunset jumps and like all these cool things and costumes. And someone did a naked jump a couple weeks back, and I was like, fuck, man, I should have been there.
Fucking get like a Propeller. No. All right. So that was a little immature, but
That was hilarious.
so
Embrace
you've obviously done a lot of cool things in your life already. So like, what I'm super interested to know is like, what's on your bucket list at this point?
Pilot license.
Pilot license?
You guys know private pilot license?
Do I have one?
No, you guys are
Oh.
aware of that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah, I
like
was
you
like-
fly like a Cessna, like a single prop plane.
Yeah, dude, I want. That's also on
Love
my
that,
bucket
bro.
list.
Like I love that. And the thing is, that's kind of unfortunate about it is that one, it's very expensive. It's a lot of money, especially if you go to a good school and they have new planes. But also, it's very time consuming. So there's like a saying. It's like if you don't like get half the hours done your first month or whatever, like you're just never gonna get it. It's like because there's a lot of information. It's a very
Yeah.
serious thing up there, and there's a lot of variables to learn to become an expert at. And like I love challenges, right? That's why I got into phase 2 brands. I've never done e-commerce before. You need to be great at everything to have a good e-commerce brand. And same with like being a private pilot. Like one, not only is it badass, you can fly whenever at any time of the day, but also it's like not everyone's a pilot. You know what I mean? And then like you can keep getting different ratings. Like I really want to get a seaplane rating. Like you can like take off from the water or land in the water, and I wanted to go like spearfishing off of that. We had a buddy who did that, and it was like, all right, I'm gonna get my license just so I could do that. So that's my next thing, and then
Also,
also
it'd be so fun to just take the boys from
Yeah.
like the Miami airport
Yeah.
to like the Bahamas, just like a super quick flight. and
Exactly.
have
Or
a
just
night.
like it's called a $100 burger. You go and like have lunch like in the Keys or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or
Have you been to the Keys, by the way?
I have with my ex-girlfriend went to Key West. It was a blast.
That was nice.
Yeah, it's a great
Did you
time.
go like spearfishing or anything?
No, I
like that?
didn't. I went spearfishing for the buddy I was just telling you about that we did it off his plane. We went to Isla Morada and we spearfished over there. And it was a lot of fun. But Fitz and I were super hungover too that day. It was it was hilarious.
You're probably like.
Yeah,
Completely
it was bad.
missing.
It was bad as a disaster.
So what else? Private pilot license,
And then alpinism, like mountain climbing.
mountain climbing.
Like that's a huge aspiration of mine is to climb all 7 summits. It's very aspirational and it's a big goal, right? But I love the danger. I love the excitement. I love the feeling of doing something that's like bigger than yourself. It's very gratifying. It's physically challenging and emotionally. And that's another thing I'm looking at doing. But again, like
Sick.
I need to get my money's like business going, all the money up, so I can just take time off for as long as I want and do these like hobbies and activities.
Do you have like
know?
a number in your head where you're like, okay, once I hit that, I can
Probably-
very comfortably accomplish all these things?
Probably 7 figures liquid. I think it's
Yeah.
fair.
So question
But
on
he-
that is like the IO business model, right? Like you said, like the first 200 are free, next 200 are free as well. Like what's the monetization model there? Or do you not even want to monetize that?
I do want to monetize it at some point, right? Because it's super helpful to a lot of people. And at the end of the day, like if it wants to improve the way it does, money's going to need to be put into it. And it's just like, it's not me trying to get a cash grab or anything. It's just
Yep.
like the natural progression of something. But for that to happen, I want to make sure that I have a bulletproof outcome. The foundation is set. People are coming in there and getting exactly what they had anticipated, and they're getting good results. And so, like, yeah, I'll have the merch, might have one-on-one mentorship calls, a membership fee to get in there. But again, like, before I start even thinking about charging, one, my e-commerce brands have to be doing really well because that's my main priority. And then second, there has to be like really, really good value in there. Like they have to come in there and hop on that live call like once a week or twice a week and be like, that is the best thing I heard all week. And that's something I need to work on.
It's a good mindset to have.
Thank you.
I feel like that's maybe a learning lesson from when you first started the
Sure.
agency space.
Yeah.
Right? You got the upfront money.
Yeah.
You might not have known how to deliver the best results then, and so you flip it around now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I feel like it aligns with your message of like transaction, like don't
Yeah.
approach something for a transaction, just do it for the sake of other people.
Yeah, of course, bro.
Once
Like,
you've given as much value as you can, you extract some out of it on the other
Yeah.
side.
and again, like at the end of the day, right, as this is growing, it's not about me anymore. And I've realized that pretty quickly. And I know this has been about a month in. It seems kind of crazy to say that, but it's now about the community. Like, yes, Jake Youngblood is the face of it, but again, at the end of the day, it's about the people in there and their lives being changed and them getting great value from it, or life-changing experiences, or content, whatever. It's about them. It's not me anymore. I'm so fine with that. It shouldn't be about. If you build a community like that, it should be about them.
That's facts. I want to go back to like the 5 pillars. So what are they again? You said business, girls, fitness, mindset, and routine.
Yep.
So like, I guess out of all of those things, where do you see yourself needing to improve even more?
I think the business side, because I preface this that I am not an expert in business. Even when I shared with Twitter that I bought Chameleon Swim, our phase 2 brands is a thing. I am not an expert in e-commerce. I'm going to be openly building in public so you guys can learn from my failures and my successes. And so I need, that's why I said I need to work on the brands first so I can become an authoritative figure, know what I'm doing in e-commerce and other facets of business so like people can come to me like, all right, I respect what this guy is doing. I respect, I would listen to him. You know what I mean? So I need to get that right, get some big successes, sell a couple businesses, and then it'll be easier for me to hey, I can build an e-com course, how to buy your first asset, how to sell it, how to scale it, everything.
Yeah.
So
I feel like you got a great opportunity to make yourself your own case study.
Yeah,
with
exactly.
Irrational
Yeah,
Optimists.
I
think that
appreciate it.
you're going to be able to build a sick brand off the back end of that.
I appreciate it. So yeah, bro, probably the business for sure, because at the end of the day, it's mindset and all that stuff is huge and it's applicable to all the other pillars, but everybody needs to make money.
Yeah, so yeah, what is the mindset thing though? Because I feel like there are a lot of people that have the business success, but they're almost limited by their own belief system or just self-identity of I'm only worth a certain amount of success in business. So the fact that you start with mindset, I feel like is super crucial because you've built yourself a solid foundation. So someone out there that hears mindset, it almost sounds like voodoo.
Yeah.
It's why should I focus on mindset if I don't have my business running the way it should be? What would you say to that? Or you obviously are very comfortable in your own skin. You have a very strong mindset. So how did that all come to be?
That's a great question. I think having that harsh come to Jesus talk with yourself and realize that the way that you're portraying things has only gotten to you so far. Try something new, try something positive, and the world's going to give back to you with that. You treat others, it's funny, right? It's super, super funny because in elementary school, and I know you guys can all relate to, your principals or teachers probably told you, treat others the way you want to be treated.
Yeah.
Treat everyone with respect. Try doing that in life and mindset and see the outcome. It's going to give back. And I'm not saying people don't do that a lot or anything, but it's being more cognizant of it and being more genuine is going to bring in so many blessings to your life.
Yeah, I say the kid that asked you for advice on Twitter with 2 followers can end up being an 8-figure brand
Exactly.
owner, and then once he's at that level, he's
And they'll never forget that.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll never forget that.
And isn't that dope? You're in a position of power essentially to be able to have that impact on other humans' lives.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope.
It is, and I appreciate that. It makes me throw up, actually.
Chill, bro.
All right, no, going back to that.
Back it up.
Because I've got a new theory or explanation about why you're throwing up. I don't think it's because you're so excited. Did you have raw eggs?
No, it's not the raw eggs. I promise.
My
it's
stomach's
not.
feeling a type of way right now.
Bro, I'm in the middle.
Oh, shit. You guys just had one. It won't be that big of a deal.
Nah, that's
But
chill.
no, it's really genuine electricity in my veins. I'll get so amped up and so stoked, I'll literally just throw up. It's crazy. It's a phenomenon.
Dude, I've never thrown up in my life.
Yeah, that's the weirdest
What?
thing. Him and his
Yeah.
dad never
What?
threw up in their entire lives. Not from
Is this
sickness,
true?
feel bad
drinking.
for you, bro.
Yeah,
Dude,
no,
throwing
it
up is
actually
great.
sucks because you get hungover or whatever. The first thing you want to do is throw up.
Yeah, and you
just-
feel
I just
better.
can't.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's weird.
Also, just
That's
have you ever
nuts.
had a bad stomach ache and it just nothing?
yeah, it just stays
That's
there.
awful.
Wow.
The relief
Comes out
after
the
you
other
throw up is,
side.
You-
the best.
You couldn't even just fucking pull a
I don't even
trig.
know. I haven't really tried, but I've just never thrown up. Makes no
Wow,
sense.
that's nuts. You're missing out, man.
No, bro. But that's the other thing. Everyone's different, right? So it's a good lens to look through too. Is you're gonna interact with people that come from all different walks of life.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess my last question is how do you create a community that I guess is like you said bigger than yourself and is not just built around your perspective on things. How do you keep yourself open to new perspectives? I feel like that 1 hour block Monday through Friday of learning new topics is a key part of it. But
Yeah.
is there anything else?
Dude, I'll put it really simply right now. Be pure. That's it. Be true to yourself and be honest and have genuine, intentions. And at the end of the day, if it doesn't go well, at least it was white glove. Be an honest, hardworking, true, pure person. And I promise it'll work out for you. I promise.
That's sick. I got one more question.
Sure.
Because we're talking about skydiving, surfing,
Snowboarding.
scaling mountains, snowboarding. You woke up at 6 a.m. to be here with us today, which we appreciate. We're
Yeah,
Slonking
thanks for
Ice.
having me.
What's so you're a man who wants to try new things. You seem like you're down to do anything. Is there anything that you absolutely wouldn't do, or absolutely just wanna try?
Actually, 100%. Have you guys seen Free Solo? You seen that?
Yeah.
Bro, I would never do that.
Okay.
I would
So-
never ever do that. You know what Half Dome is in Yosemite?
Yeah.
This motherfucker, Alex Honnold, I believe, scaled it with no gear. Like climbed it up just like how we're sitting right here, like nothing, no gear, no safety harness, like none of that. He just climbed it up by himself.
Damn.
Never. I will never do that.
So like that's like the one thing that scares you. Like
Yeah,
genuinely.
that's horrifying.
Yeah, what the hell?
So you gotta do it.
I have to do it now.
You have to.
I have to. I literally have to.
Just debunked that one now.
Yeah,
well,
fuck.
like no, that's the whole point of it, right?
Yeah.
It's like now you actually have to do
No, I
it.
have to. I have to.
It was like just a straight up like climb.
Dude, it's nuts.
Damn.
You know what? I want to go to space. I'll say it. So
Go to
here,
space.
I will end on this funny note. So when I was in, I think it was middle school or high school, NASA released the Mars 2020 exploration that we were gonna go colonize Mars, and they had open applications, and I was like, "This is my calling," and I signed up. I put my heart and soul into it to a whole week, and I was like, fucking 13 or something, and obviously I get declined because they want like PhD or like pilots and all that stuff, and that was heartbreaking for me because like I've always wanted to go to space and become an astronaut. That was like my childhood like dream. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep trying though. We gotta run up the bag as much as possible so we can all build a rocket,
Yeah,
And-
bro.
colonize
we're-
Mars.
You guys are taking over Twitter, so I feel like you just got to get in touch with Elon. That's the man right there. Like, who's
I would
NASA?
not want to
Yeah,
colonize
Like
it's
Mars.
SpaceX
You're not
does
coming back.
all of it
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, dude. So to end it, where can our audience find you, follow you, and learn more about everything that you're working on?
Yeah, so thank you everyone for listening, and thank you guys for having me. This has been a blast. All my handles are Jake Youngblood, but it's YNGBLOOD on all platforms.
Young Blue.
Youngblood on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. Now it's all the same handle. So feel free to follow me. Let me know what you think about this podcast. I respond to everybody. So yeah, it was a great time, bro. Thank you guys. And thank
yeah.
you for everyone
That was
watching.
a fun episode
Yeah.
for sure.
Great episode.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
Good stuff,
great.
bro. Appreciate you coming on.
Yeah,
Thank you, brother.
bro. Of course.
Good stuff.
That was great, bro.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much.